50-50 tonight.
You could say that about Milan, couldn't you? He's come in obviously with a platform of sorts, and he's been quite aggressive.
Absolutely, he's played beautifully this evening. So it is there, but maybe that was their game plan. Maybe Vaughan's right, that's their game plan, to back time, to get overs into the fast bowlers, and then to see where they get to.
The consensus seems to be that it's kind of as you were. We are nicely poised at the end of day one. Thank you very much, Kevin, for joining us. We'll see you again as the match unfolds. Plenty more to come from us before we're done, though. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes here in Brisbane. Ian's been good enough to join the other three for a review of the Aussie bowlers. We've just heard from Nathan Lyon. What kind of day do you think they had, Damien?
Overall, I reckon about a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think we didn't quite bowl full enough early on. The ball that Stark bowled to Alistair Cook, I reckon we needed more of that length. You know, just to get it up there. The batsmen were generally going back in the crease. But later on, we had that, when it started to go reverse, and with Cummins with his pace and his ability to make the ball go reverse, when he knocked over Stoneman, I thought, geez, we're very much in the game here. And then the change of ball, and it seemed to go normal swing. So I thought we bowled better probably in the second half of today, and Nathan Lyon was the cornerstone of that. The stock bowler, he could tie up an end, and the quicks could attack from the other end.
If we go back to the start of the day, we talked a lot pre-match about the importance of Alistair Cook, put into bat as opener, carrying a lot of English hopes, went early. We saw the setup, if you like, from Mitchell Starc, those 3 deliveries that preceded, I think, the wicket-taking ball, which comes next. Actually, if you take 10-11 and all the glory that he had in that series out of the equation, Australia's not been a happy hunting ground, really, Ricky, for Alistair.
Well, to be totally fair, Ashes cricket probably hasn't been that kind to Alistair Cook. If you look at the overall thing, the average is 26 maybe in England. Hasn't never scored an Ashes 100 in the UK. The 400s he scored have all been here in Australia. He scored 400s, and 3 of those was in one series. So, yeah, look, it's obviously both countries not easy places to start for opening batters.
Yeah.
There's his record there.
There's the big purple patch in the middle.
Yeah, 38 and a half against Australia in Ashes tests, and yeah, that little lot of Manhattans in the middle and not much either side of that. So, but I think Damien's right. I think Stark bowled well to him this morning. That setup was spot on.
Yeah.
First 3 just sort of pushed in towards off stump. The one that he edged just a little bit of outswing and caught the outside edge of the bat.
30, I think, Ashes innings since that last century. Do you want to stick up for him?
Well, I just think that's Alistair Cook's career. You look at him in the summer, he wasn't in great form, then goes and gets a big double 100 against the West Indies, and that's what he did in 2010-11. He had a rich vein of form, scored runs pretty much at every occasion. You know, I think you've got to give credit to the bowlers as well. Australia, you know, in 13-14, the likes of Ryan Harris, Mitchell Johnson, now Mitchell Starc, there's some high quality being thrown at Alistair Cook. You know, you look at his movements, and that shot today, playing on the move, he'll be trying to iron that out going forward throughout the series. But yeah, you look at the Manhattans, he had that rich vein and he's struggled since.
I suppose you could have a similar conversation about Joe Root in terms of the importance of the wicket and the fact that he went fairly cheaply, Graham?
Oh, absolutely. Joe Root, look, he's England's best player. He's number 2 in the world behind Steve Smith. And what we couldn't actually believe upstairs is this had to be reviewed in the first place, because it looked absolutely stone dead. And it actually proved to be absolutely stone dead. I thought Ricky was going to have a fit in the box when it was given that out. His head just went. His head went to the offside. That's good bowling more than anything. That's a tired Pat Cummins who's been charging all day. And he's got that ball. We see where he's released it from. It has moved quite violently. And he's set Rooty up. You can get good balls over here, as Vaughan said. They're very, very good bowlers, and just because the pitch is a good batting paradise basically today, it doesn't mean the bowlers can't bowl you good balls. And with the lights starting to fade and the ball swinging, it wasn't too much of a surprise that Rooty got a good one.
I just like the execution. So he attacked the stumps, took him across the crease with the outswingers, then the in-swinger, and it was quicker and it was on the mark. So I reckon that was a bit of bowlology goal.
And it went late. That's the thing with it. I mean, it didn't just swing a little bit and early. It swung a lot and it swung late. I think that would have knocked most right-handers over that.
I mean, we've spoken about Nathan Lyon. I thought that over from Cummins was the best over of the day because he got Root's head. He's trying to get his head over to the offside to try and nullify that outswing. He bowled him 2 outswingers in that over. And then because of that in-swinger, which he hadn't bowled before, completely surprised Joe Root. He didn't expect that to happen. You know, I thought Cummins was the pick of the 3 Australian seamers. You know, if he gets a quicker pitch, and it might be in the second innings, it might be at Perth, he's going to be a real handful.
Yeah, he was today, actually, certainly in that period, as you say, where he got quicker, got more aggressive, and claimed that prize wicket. Let's get a bit more English reaction. We've heard from James Vince. Let's get the views of Mark Stoneman.
Well, I've got Mark Stoneman with me here. Mark, an Ashes 50, well played today. Just how comfortable or otherwise did it feel out there for you?
I guess it was comfortable to a degree. We're obviously first time in an Ashes series on away soil. Just try to take it in as much as possible and really enjoy it. Don't fight it. Embrace the crowd and the atmosphere, and thankfully you managed to get on a good partnership with Vincey.
When Alistair Cook fell early, what did you say to yourself then about the way you were going to go about your innings?
Just try and stay composed and stay in the moment, play each ball as it comes. Obviously, it's one of the oldest cliches in the game, but those things can stand you in good stead. And like I said, it was good to have Vincey there, and we got that partnership which got us into the game.
Had you gone out there expecting fast, bouncy, hostile Gabba wicket?
Well, from all reports, we were expecting the wicket. It didn't turn out to be that way, which stifled the scoring as well a little bit. So I think both teams would probably come off fraction disappointed in the service that we had, but all in all, a pretty positive day for us.
What can you say then about the way that James Vince went about his cricket out there in partnership with you?
He played brilliantly. Obviously, when he's in full flow, he's amazing to watch, and a fantastic natural timer of the ball. And it was great not from him today. Unfortunately, ended the way it did, but like I say, that partnership gave us a strong position.
How much did you know about the delivery that got you out? It looked a pretty good one from Pat Cummins.
Yeah, he just didn't on the length a little bit, didn't quite pick the length up as well as I would have wanted to, and just kept coming back in to hit the stumps. Disappointing, especially the period just before the break again, but yeah, one of those things.
So the team's position overall, from the point which your wicket fell, broke up that century stand. How do you feel the balance lies then at the end of day one?
I think it's pretty even. Obviously, it was a shame that we lost Joe towards the back end there. But I think as the day has gone, I think we're pretty happy with our position, and we've got ourselves into the series.
Best of luck for tomorrow, and congratulations on the 50. Well played. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, he's second for his country. There's an unflappability about him, both in terms of how he talks and how he plays.
Well, he just enjoyed it, didn't he? He was smiling throughout the day. Stark came round the wicket, peppered him, he ducked, he just smiled back. It was great to see.
Yeah. Maybe if you've waited that long, he's 30 now, and it didn't look like it was going to come this England call. Maybe if you wait that long, there's a maturity that comes with that debut.
I thought he brought a calmness today, and I reckon he helped James Vince out. You know, number 3 in an Ashes series, averaging 19 in Test match cricket. But Stoneman, I thought he got his feet going better than Alistair Cook in those first few overs. He knew that the full ball was the threat, and he negated that, and he let the ball go. And then when he got the opportunity to score, he played it in his unflappable way. I thought he was fantastic today.
Yeah, obviously he's played well in the warm-up matches, but we don't know how much to read into that because of the opposition, pitches, etc. But played well against top-class opposition today for sure. And if you said to the folks at home, it'll be Vince and Stoneman will impress you on day one, then they said, are you mad?
Absolutely, and the ball that got him out there from Pat Cummins was the ball of the day. Again, much like the Joe Root ball, quick, all of a sudden reverse swing you're not expecting coming in at you is very, very difficult to play, and to dislodge a man who's faced 150 odd balls with a ball like that, you've got to take your hat off to Pat Cummins. But I think Stoneman was brilliant. He was unflappable today. He's a canny Geordie lad. He supports Newcastle, so I'll back him to the hilt.
The other thing with what he had to say in that interview was that he got done on length.
Yeah.
And that was what we felt the Australian bowlers probably didn't quite execute as well as they could have today. When they were full, they're probably a little bit too full. And when they were short, it just sat up and there was nothing on offer. That one there is the top of the stumps. So that's the length you need to be bowling, especially when there's no movement in the air. If it's swinging in the air, get it up as full as you like, because you're always a chance. But when there wasn't much swing today, I don't think the Australian bowlers adapted quick enough.
And at times then, was that variety of length perhaps not full enough stuff why Malan and Moeen came in and got on top for periods at the end then?
Yeah, I would also say I think Australia probably bowled a little bit too wide. I think particularly bowled straight enough to James Vince. He loves that offside. I think you could have gone a bit straighter to him. You know, Moeen Ali is a gift. You know, whenever he comes to the wicket, you know he's going to bring positivity. He's always looking to score. You know, I think he got Malan going because Malan was just stuck in the rut until Moeen came and played that stroke. Moeen said to Nathan Lyon, you know what, I'm going to try and score off you. And then it got Malan going. So this partnership's crucial. Johnny Bairstow to come in next. But I really think this partnership, particularly Moeen Ali, is going to be so important for England in the morning.
And from a bowling point of view, this is what good number 6s do at the end of play. When you're tired, you just want to get off. You look at the clock, it's 15 minutes left, come on, let's just get through.
And this is
smacking it around, and here's a review at the end. This would have swung the day undoubtedly in Australia's favour, but luckily it was just a tired review in the end. It's always missing leg.
Once again,
you don't get another one back now, do you?
Did you just turn Dr. Evil there?
Turned? What turned?
Just with that one. Sorry, Doctor. That was another new ball that didn't swing. wasn't it? Early in the day, the new one. And
Yeah.
that one for Stark's stock away swinger to the lefty, it didn't move though.
No, indeed. Just before we get the boys' final thoughts on what might happen tomorrow, we've got highlights, of course, of day one for you. If you're just waking up and wondering the full story, how did it go? 9:30, 40 minutes or so from now here on One. You can recapture everything that's happened here at the Gabba, and we are back, of course, with day two tonight for you, tomorrow morning for us, 11:15 p.m. on air for us for an 11:30 start. They've picked up a little bit of extra play, but what do you think about tomorrow? It's obviously on a bit of an edge.
Well, we're only on day two, but the first hour is crucial.
Yes, good shout.
Whoever wins the first hour. No, it's really, but I mean, Moeen Ali is the key, because I do think he creates energy for Milan. You know, you're looking at Moeen Ali, Johnny Bairstow, Chris Woakes comes in at number 8. Not disrespecting Stuart Broad, Jake Bond, Jimmy Anderson. I don't think England can rely on those three, so it's down to the next three.
And presumably the Australians will be thinking exactly the same thing. If we can just push through something of the resistance that's left, we can get out that tail. That's been the story all before the series started.
You'd like to think that they'd learn something from their bowling today and be able to put that in play with the new ball tomorrow morning. But I actually think the wicket's going to be harder to bat on tomorrow than it was today. It was very placid today, very soft, no pace off the surface. You see that a lot in first-class games here at the Gabba. Day two, when it hardens up and quickens up, is when the ball seems to hit the outside edge a lot more. So tomorrow's going to be a very intriguing day's play.
Well, that's the case in the afternoon.
Absolutely. What we will see, though, is a much higher scoring rate in the morning. With Milan, with Ali, with Bairstow, it's going to be more interesting than the absorbing cricket, we'll call it, from today. Interestingly, Broad and Anderson actually hold a joint record for England in the most noughts ever in Test cricket, between whoever gets nought tomorrow goes in the lead. So we're not relying on those two at all.
Geez, it would have been handy if Jimmy came out at night watching it. I would have been backing him to get the record.
He looked over the moon to be doing it as well.
He did. He always looks over the moon, to be fair, doesn't he? He always looks. That's obviously what's to come. Milan and Ali at the crease when we resume, and then there's Bairstow. And then Woakes, of course, all-rounder in effect, and then Broad, Ball and Jimmy. What would be, from both sides' point of view, a good first innings score, both for the Australians to try and limit England to, and obviously for England to hope for, realistically?
I reckon the Aussies would like to knock them over with no more than 100 runs and potentially not use Nathan Lyon
under
too much in the
300.
morning. Yep. Got the new ball. Probably Josh Hazelwood, probably just slightly disappointing out of the quicks. We just thought he's the banker. He bowls that McGrath line and length. I just think he didn't quite get it right today. He didn't build up consecutive maidens, so maybe he's the man that comes out tomorrow and gets it going. And for the Aussies, hopefully they can start off getting early wickets and use the quicks as well as possible.
And what would Joe Root hope for, again, realistically, do you think?
Well, realistically, he needs over 300, and you'd want beyond 350 as you possibly can. But, you know, I think when you look at this Australian attack, the worry is that they could blow England away in the morning. Now, England have just got to try and withstand that first 20 minutes because they'll come hard. Moeen Ali will come out and play aggressively. He might need a little bit of fortune. As Ricky said, it might be a harder morning to bat than it was this morning. But I would say that Joe Root, if you offered him 320 now, I think he'd take that.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, and you're in the game with that. I mean, you get 320, 350 in most Test matches. You don't lose too many. So England definitely have to get that sort of total tomorrow morning.
Who'll sleep happier, Ricky? Who'll sleep happier, do you think?
I think Jeffrey Boy can't
I'll
sleep.
sleep happier than I did last night.
Jeffrey will sleep like a baby, yeah.
Who'll sleep happier?
I think Vince will have a nice sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning's going to be crucial.
Yeah, but that's true for both teams.
Yeah.
So they might both toss and turn a little bit. What do you think?
Well, I just think, I mean, it's the morning, you know. I mean, it's very even Stevens. I was impressed with England today. You know, I really was, because we all expected them to be blown away once Alistair Cook had got out early. And the impressive thing for the England supporters is that those three players that are under a huge amount of pressure, Stone, Vincent, Milan, in their first Ashes Test match, they played with control.
Yeah, it's day one of, what, it could be 25, it might not be, but it could be potentially 25. So do we know much more now than we did this morning?
Well, it's definitely a tick for England first, because they come here with 3 in their top 5 in the batting order that we had questions about. Are they good enough at Test match cricket? If that's their standard, Stoneman and Vince, well, they're certainly going to get some runs here. Milan started well. So I reckon more questions were answered, not for the whole series, but for this Test match for England. For Australia, I reckon they'll feel like they didn't quite bowl to their best. I reckon they'll feel like they've got more up their sleeve, and they'll be banking on a big hour tomorrow morning.
Not for the last time. The last word, Swanee.
Well, I think England will be very happy. What they've shown a lot of people is Pat Cummins is probably a better bowler than England expected. They hadn't seen a lot of him. And the other two aren't as quick and nasty as everyone had told them they were beforehand. So the England team will be very happy with the way they negated this fearsome Aussie trio. But they'll be also very worried about the way they let Nathan Lyon bowl all day.
It's been absorbing. It's been an absolute privilege to be here. We don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's the bit I take away. It's been a big first day. Thank you very much, Michael, Ricky, Damien, obviously you, Swanee, with all your impressions. Keeps me on my toes, that's for sure. Thanks to everybody else, of course, and thank you to you for watching, whether it's been all night or just for the last couple of hours. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you tomorrow.